Can you hear me? Yibbidi-bidi. Yibbidi-bidi. Can y'all hear me? Hi guys, how are you doing? Okay. Hi Logify. Good to know that you got Steve Vai to sign your PR. Hi Timothy. Jack, how are you, Jack? Hi Dennis. Hi David. Who else is here? Hi Rick from Quebec. Wow, nice. Hi Mark. Alright, good. Okay, loud and clear. How you guys doing? Yogi Bear. Anyway, although I have this live stream because for the next 2 weeks I will probably not have too much content because starting from tomorrow I have sessions, recordings, and then I have to start working on my songs. What are the songs I'm supposed to do for the show that I'm doing on the 6th? Yeah, so it's gonna be pretty busy this whole week. So next Monday I will start, well not tomorrow, the next Monday I will start rehearsal, and then I'm off to KL for a week. Yeah, about a week. So I'll be away from the 4th to the 10th. I'll be back on the 11th. Hopefully by then I get some, I can have like some stuff to review and to show you guys. Right, because of the NAMM show, there are a backlog of new stuff that's coming out. I haven't done the Trident review yet. It's supposed to be released pretty soon, so I'm waiting for the word from NUX. But I got a couple of NUX pedals right back there. I don't think you can see because of the bouquet. They're pretty interesting. They're right, really MIDI. I'm going to show it to you later on. Hi, Russell. How is this? Bertrand Bossy. Hi, Bertrand, right? Yeah, Bertrand. Hi, from Bangkok. Sawadee Krap. So both Russell and Bertrand are from Thailand. Interesting. Yeah, soon. I might just take a break and head on to Bangkok. And Rick, you're from Quebec. I went to Quebec once, many years ago. I love the place. It's such a nice, picturesque place, especially during springtime. Yeah, especially now. I think now is the perfect place, perfect time to go to Quebec. Hey, what happened? So these few days I've been pretty busy trying to learn how to work my gimbal. I just bought this gimbal. This is from, let me try to get the Chinese name correct. Ziyun gimbal. This is the Crane M2S. This one. I also bought a new camera, which I think you guys know. This is the ZV-E10, which I think Logify has the same camera. I'm shooting on the A6400, Sony A6400 with the Sigma 18mm, if I'm not mistaken, 1.4? Yeah, 1.4 16mm lens. I just bought this new lens from Viltrox. This is a 23mm 1.4. Trying to work this gimbal because I'm planning on taking this to the trip, that I'm taking soon, and see whether I can get it to work accordingly. It's pretty cool, you know. I have never experienced a gimbal before. I mean, I love photography, but I'm not really into videography. So I didn't know that I have to like balance this. See, this thing is like I need to balance it. So yeah, another learning curve for me. But so I need to kind of like turn this on so you know. Pretty cool. Yeah, and then you can kind of like do this. So like I actually bought this gimbal because I bought this camera because I needed another angle of the videos that I do, so that you guys have a bit of a more of a close up in what I'm doing on my fretboard. But also because I wanted to have a little bit more clearer shot on the product, especially the guitars, especially the wood and the makeup. So yeah, and for vlogging, so I could bring this along for my gigs, and I can still do vlogs like this. I can do selfie, and then if I wanted to shoot again, I can just do this. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, gimbal is pretty fun, and the 23mm 1.4 is really nice. So yeah. Oh, that's Sony. That's not Canon. This is a Sony. This is Sony ZVE10. Yeah. Mark, no, I haven't been to Michigan. Would love to. I know it's pretty cold. Yeah. Oh, Dennis, you just got 2 wide-angle lens for your Canon T6. Nice. David, you know nothing about cameras. Daniel Smith, Tremor. Hi, Bear. Hi, Carlos. How are you? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? Yeah. Daniel Smith, I cannot get away from the old Canon cameras, right? The 5D and the 7D. Oh, those are great cameras. Yeah. I like this. I like this. It's been said that this is a good vlogging. What you call it? A good vlogging camera, but I don't really think it's a good vlogging camera. I'll tell you why. Because of the fact. Let me lock this first so that I can. How do I lock this? This is okay. Why I don't think that this Sony ZVE10 is a good vlogging camera because of the image stabilization. You need to get a gimbal for it to work properly. With a gimbal, yeah, at least it kind of like works as a vlogging camera in many ways. But I think it's a good camera for studio, for in studio environment where you need like a close-up shot, or with a wide angle lens, like maybe 11mm. Wow, that's pretty nice. I was so tempted to get one, but I'll wait. And probably you'll show a little bit more of this room. Probably a little bit more of the rubbish that I have in this room, which is not really good. So I'm taking my time to see what I can do with this. And but I think with the gimbal it will work, especially when I head down to a gig, so this time around in KL, I'm planning to visit some interesting places which I will not divulge to you yet, and do some videos of this and see what happens, and also maybe some shots of the concert if I can place this correctly in a manner. Yeah, or at least during rehearsals, that would suffice. I'll place this here. Just don't you dare fall. All right. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So where are we? Know nothing about cameras. How are you? Getting warm here in Tucson. ¿Cómo está? Yeah. Okay. No. I'll tell you. I've been very busy because a couple of friends came down from China. It's a dear ex-student of mine. He's a designer. He's a stage designer. So he came down with his assistant, and I brought them out around town. Did a whole lot of walking until I'm like really, really tired. And but I had a good time with them. So yeah. In any case, I was really like really hands-on on some of the reviews that I did. Before I stopped for a break because I just felt so tired. And I have other things to do, so I need to, I taught today, so I started teaching at 3 p.m. I just ended at 10. So I'm tired. You can probably tell I sound tired because I've been teaching the whole day. And I'm taking a short break tomorrow because I have to do a recording session for 3 songs from tomorrow. The good thing is I work at home, so I can kind of pace myself. If I can't finish it tomorrow, I still have tomorrow, Tuesday, to finish off the 3 songs. So for today and tomorrow, I'll be busy recording. And then right after that, on Wednesday I have to get my guitar fixed by Wayne because I'm bringing out my Paul Addy, and I'm gonna have Wayne do some mods for me, and then I'll be working on the songs that we'll be doing for the concert on the 6th. So again, I'm the music director, so I need to kind of like plan. So some new songs, so I need to plan out what I'm supposed to do. So I'm pretty busy all the way until the concert itself, and then after the concert, I'm going out to KL for a couple of days to spend some time with my dear brother Steve, who happens to be the father of my godson Marcus. So I'm going to spend some time with them, and I'll be back on the 10th. Yeah. David K, have a busy day tomorrow. I have to put new bridge. Oh wow. I got new and new pots. Wow. Okay. Should be good when done. That's cool. Mark, I have an old Canon T3 that still serves me well. Yeah. El Truco. Hey, thank you. Daniel Smith. Oh, I love the Canon T3. I started on that. Hi, Devin. How are you? Rick, we'll try some flat wounds on my Jackmaster soon. Okay. It'll take a little bit of getting used to the flat ones. Timothy, solo album updates? No, not yet. I'm just like playing it by ear. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too. Well, I plan to go up to Taiwan September. There's a whole lot of plans, but once it happens. But we could always, we always do a whole lot of planning. But when it comes to the real thing, sometimes it just doesn't work out. I plan to work on my album this year, and so let me just go up to Taiwan first and see what's happening, because I'm going up there to help out a friend with 2 songs. So it'd be good to spend some time there and catch up with old friends and eat. Yeah. And make some music, together with friends. And then from there, I can vlog the whole thing. And I think that'll be interesting, to take you guys to a place that you guys probably would not have the chance to go. And look at other stuff, visit some Taiwanese music stores, or talk to some people, head on down to the recording studio and see what's it like, and rehearsals. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna work on songs there, so it'll be fun, and I think it's a good break for me. And then after that, maybe on the year end around October or maybe November, I can start planning on how to work on my album. Again, that is subjected to any tours that might happen. So I don't know. I have a feeling that I'll probably go on tour pretty soon with my brother Eric, probably at the end of the year. So I don't know what the schedule is like. I have no idea at all. So this time around in Genting in Malaysia, I will have a meeting with him and see what happens, and then I can plan. I can, more or less schedule my timing appropriately. Yeah. But thank you, Timothy, for asking. El Truco. Wow, your mama. Hi, mama. I don't know the song. Duvet Boa. Try the Mark II Nero SP. It was very good. Devin Cinderwitz. Hey, hi. My Sire 7 is on order from Seedwater. Getting proper setup. Should be this week. Brought it based on your review of the black transparent one with the blue. Nice. Cool. Nice. I got a couple of lens here that I'm thinking of buying the adapter for the ZV. there is adapter for the Nikon mount to the Sony E mount. And if I were to procure all that, it'd be great because let me just put this somewhere safe. I could use all these lenses that I have. I have as you can see, I used to be a photography enthusiast back in the early 2000, the mid 2000. So this is a Tokina 12 to 24. I love this lens so much when I was using my D90, my Nikon D90. It's a wide angle lens, but flat f4 f-stop, and I love this lens so much. It takes great landscape photography. 12 to 24. 11 will be even like wider, but this will suffice. The sad part of this is that I can only take like it's not the f-stop is pretty big, like f4, well, small in this case. It's the opposite. It'll be good if it's f1.4 or 1.8 even. This is interesting. This is from Tamron. This is a, what is this? This is a 28 to 75, but this has a constant f-stop of 2.8 if I'm mistaken. Let me check. Yeah, so this has a constant f-stop of 2.8. This is also a very good a lens for traveling, especially with my D20. I used to use this exclusively until this came along, and then I was into landscape and I wasn't going out at night often, so I used this a whole lot. But after a while, the D90 is huge. Consider the fact that it is a huge camera. It's big. It's a DSLR, so it's really big. And on here, I have a Nikon 35mm 1.8, which is really nice for portrait, for street photography, and it's really small and compact. So if I buy the adapter, I could fit all these lenses to my Sony ZV-E1 E10, sorry. And right, so I'm thinking about it. Oh, I have another lens in there. Oh, that's a kit lens for the Nikon, which I don't use. And then of course I have my Fujifilm, my X100. I love this. I have this lens converter where I convert this to a wide angle, or sort of a wider angle than the built-in lens. So this is like a great travel camera. But now I was thinking of bringing this up to KL, but I think I'll bring up my Sony ZV-E1 because it can shoot video. The Fujifilm is bad for video. Yeah, so that's all my lens collection. So chances are I'll probably buy the converter. I'm weighing the cost. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. All right. Sexiest solo ever outro. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll take a listen to it. Yeah. Carlos, John, do you know that Taiwan is the name of the island in the country that is on the island is called Republic of China? Yes, I know. Taiwan was part of China. Yeah. In fact, a lot of what is on the mainstream media, yeah, don't believe everything that you read or watch on TV. I go up to Taiwan a lot, so there are two differing train of thoughts among the Taiwanese people. So there are quite a lot of them, a majority of them who are okay with the reunification of China. So the fact of the matter is a lot of Taiwanese are working in China, or whether it be in any sorts of industries, even in the entertainment industry. There are a whole lot of producers, songwriters, singers. They're all in mainland China because the market is already like depleted in Taiwan. And a whole lot of industry, like chips and chipset and whatever, motherboard, computer stuff. They're all based in China right now. I don't think the Taiwanese people have major problems with mainland China. It's the politicians and politics, that let you guys think that there's a whole lot of stuff that China's going to invade Taiwan and all that. I don't think it's going to happen because Chinese people, they know, these are their home, their own people in many ways. Some of the Taiwanese that I heard have voiced out, especially the older generations, and what are you talking about? China attacking? We are the same. We are all Chinese. So I understand that, Carlos. So there are many. You got to know about the history of Taiwan, the island of Taiwan, and how it's like the states. You have indigenous people staying there. There are many indigenous tribes in Taiwan, and when the Chinese came over, and then there was some conflict, of course, between the Han people, which are Chinese, and the indigenous tribes. But as time went by, they went to live on harmoniously together. And then the Japanese came, took over Taiwan for about 50 years. So Taiwan, if you notice, has a lot of Japanese influence in their culture, in their life, in the way they live their life, which is good and bad. But mostly good because as you all know, Japanese are very disciplined. They are very conscious of the environment and stuff like that. So Taiwanese have taken on that, which I think is great. I love to be in Taiwan because I find that most Taiwanese people are really courteous and really nice, and they're really helpful. And for me to speak their lingo, it's of course it's a plus. But I always love going there. I always love being there for long periods of time because, first of all, the food there just agrees with me because I'm from Fujian. I'm from the place that's really near Taiwan, and most Taiwanese people came from there. So, yeah, and these people also went over to Singapore. So we have a whole lot of Fujian people in Singapore. We call them Hokkien people. So Hokkien is a dialect because it's a state in China. So in China, there are lots of states. So you have the Canton state, where people speak Cantonese. There's the Hainan state, where people speak Hainanese. You get what I mean? You get a drift? So for Fujian, which is Hokkien, we speak Hokkien. So I speak Hokkien here in Singapore. That's my father's language. But the people in Taiwan, they speak Minanyu, which is same as Hokkien, but with a different twist. So after a while, you kind of understand what they're talking about, and you can kind of like have conversations with them fairly easily. And yeah, for me, I think Taiwanese people are one of the friendliest in the world. And people always think that mainland Chinese people back then, that they are like really rude and brash, but not so. I have so many mainland China friends who are really nice, who are really caring, full of love, So yeah, it's like this. So anyway, I shan't go there anymore. So what? Where are we? Where are we now? Oh my god. Yeah, hit the lights. Hit the like button if you can. Daniel Smith, I have never used Sony, but have you ever bought cameras of what? MPB? That's where I get most. No, I'm based in Singapore, Daniel. So we have, I bought all this online. Sony and everything, I bought it online, and I have very good deal. The wheel trucks, I bought it from the official wheel trucks. But yeah, I got a great price for this. But the delivery was crazy. It took me 2 weeks to get this lens from China. I get my Nuex pedals from Taiwan, or sometimes I get my Juyo pedals from Hong Kong, like within 3 days maximum. I had to wait 2 weeks for this lens, which is a bit ridiculous. Anyway, but the lens came in properly packed, so it was cool. What's that? Nikon D. Wow, cool, nice, Devin. That's one camera that I couldn't afford back then. Nikon do some very good 7000. Yes, that's right. Fujifilm looks so nice. Oh yeah, it does. Kit lens are not optimal good lenses. You're right. You're right. That's why we try not to use kit lenses. But the Sony kit lenses are actually quite good, you know. So before I got this, I was shooting most of the footage, the secondary footage, with the kit lens, and they're pretty good. Dennis, I got my Canon in combo deal with 200mm wow telephoto, let alone will cost 2/3 as much as a combo. What were you shooting? Bears? Birds? Your neighbor next door? You are 12 difference from here, Sunday 12 p.m. Yes, I know, Rick. Lenses are like guitar acquisition rabbit hole. Tell me about it. Yeah. Okay. Devin. True Timothy. T6. Okay. Funkaberry Finn. Any thought on Ford Rose 1000 ever encounters? No, not yet. Jonathan, I got a new guitar, Epiphone SG special. Well done, Jack. Devin, what's the weight balance for Jack Collins? Okay. When I order from TM. Alright. Cool. So, what? Yeah, David K was asking me whether I have any new things. Well, unfortunately, no, except for these pedals. You want to take a look at them? Pretty interesting stuff. These are just released from Nuwex, and I think they feature a little bit of this in the NAMM show. Monk for Nuwex was so kind enough to send me this whole collection of mini pedals. They're from a series. I haven't opened them up because I haven't tried them yet. But they're really nice, I think. I've yet to... Oh, I got a repeat. No, I thought they were the same. So, this is from the Mini Core series. And I have a... What's this? Oh wow. I have a IR loader. So this is an IR loader where you can actually hook up an IR, or you can't. I think you can download your own IR into this unit. So what it does is it gives you IR for cabs, not for amps though. So I guess this will work pretty well with the Trident or with some of the you know, the Nuwex came out with some amps, you know, the small pedal form amps. Yeah, this will work really well with that in conjunction. This is a chorus. Right? So this is called Ukiyo-e chorus. What does it say? So description. 3 chorus mode in the mini enclosure. Stereo chorus. Oh wow. Stereo chorus. The clean chorus with realistic Leslie effect, and a CE one, like the Boss CE one, and you can actually tap tempo. Wow, that's nice. It's pretty cool, you know. So I'm probably going to play along with everything at one go and do a video, maybe, I don't know, when I have the time. And then you have Voodoo Vibe. Right, so this is like, or you even have a chorus mode, a vibrato mode, stereo, support stereo. It's pretty cool. All right. Next up would be, where is this? This is the H delay. All right. So this is a delay. 3 types of delay: digital delay, analog delay, and tape echo, with tap tempo too. So in case you want to see how small these units are, so they're all about the same size. This is how small it is. Okay, this is my hand. This is how small it is. Right? So cute. Interesting. They're actually quite well made. Yeah, and you have most of them have USB ports in because you can update your firmware if you choose to. That's pretty good. All right. Next up would be mini super chorus. This is the one that Monk was telling me about because I was telling him that I wanted a Michael Landau AER, not the AER chorus that he used to use. So he says this comes pretty close to that. Here, wide dynamic range, support stereo too. So it tributes to the legendary modulation pedal SCF chorus with flanger too. So it's interesting. So it has 3 in 1. It has chorus, flanger, and pitch modulation. All right. The next one would be, what is this? The damp reverb. Not the damn reverb, the damp reverb. All right. So basically, it's a reverb unit. Very wet, but it also has clear ambience, and spring reverb, hall, and you can have a shimmering effect by depressing the foot switch, right? So you depress it, you have shimmering effect and freeze. So interesting. I find these pedals are pretty useful if I do use a pedal board. Okay, last but not least this is the latest one from them. This is the drum and loop hook. Alright, so this basically has a 24-bit phrase loop with auto tempo detection. Nice. And okay, 11 rhythm styles, especially with the drums, and up to 6-minute recording. Wow, that's pretty cool. So you can use this for practice if you want to. This will take the place of this, I guess. This is the one that I used to use. Alright, the Ditto from TC Electronic. This is one pedal that I really like because I used to practice a lot with this when I was doing nothing before the YouTube channel. So this will be a good replacement for the Ditto because it has drums in it. So it's pretty interesting. I might incorporate this into my lessons when I'm teaching. So it's a good unit to kind of like teach my students what I'm trying to get at when it comes to rhythm. And that's it. That's all I have. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Joyo is sending me a couple of pedals too. Let me check. So they wrote me and they said that they have a new Regal preamp, which is like a. Can you see this? Yeah. So this is new from Joyo. So they're sending me this, and then they are sending me. What in the world is this? This is like a chorus unit again or something like that. Yeah, it's like a chorus unit. See that? I know it's a bit too bright, right? Yeah. And then another tornado. What is this? Oh, this is another preamp but this time with a boost. You see it? Yeah. So these are 3 new pedals that they're sending over, and we'll see. Dennis, when I order from Taiwan, receive in 2 or 3 days. If order from US, 4 days to a week. Yeah. It boggles my mind. Daniel Smith, it's definitely worth a look. You will need to check if they can ship to you if you buy something. Devin also got some new pedals. Jonathan, Azor, Phaser, Azor, all the Azors, right? Nice. Okay. Are they good? Are they good? Also got a new M2. Wow, you've been shopping, eh? A Roland JC40, louder than my Katana. Dennis, air routes determine how long it take on shipping. Yeah, true. Devin, USB design in Paris is a great idea. Future firmware updates. And guess what? Even for camera, this Viltrock lens has a USB in, so I can update the firmware. Oh man! Imagine even for the lenses, they have USB updates now. Going on 15 years with my Line 6 port 2.0. Oh my good lord! Don't ever sell it, Timothy. You're gonna fetch a good sum in years to come. Cincy Piper, John, long time fan here. May I ask, do you know what it is you are trying to say by playing music? I don't understand. What's your question? I don't understand your question. Rick, anyway, okay. John, do you like to use Tube Screamer on your Mesa Boogie or other amps? To tell you frankly, I'm not really a fan of the Tube Screamer because I used to own a Tube Screamer many years ago, and the idiot in me sold it off. Never sell off a pedal that is really good at the time that you're using it, because it's going to be sought after in future. I wasn't really a fan. That's the reason why I sold it off. I always needed something with a little bit more drive and a little bit more sustain. So it wasn't the lack of understanding of guitars that it wasn't for the lack of understanding that guitars do make a difference. The guitars that I used to have back then when I was using the Tube Screamer was pretty good. They were all high output guitars meant for shredding. Well, for 80s shredding, not for today's shredding, but enough high output to drive anything. But I just didn't like the Tube Screamer. Somehow I just don't agree with it. Yeah. I think my go-to right now is my Mesa Boogie V-Twin, right? So that's the only one that I would play with if I was to use a pedal board. And then it's Ghostfire is a good pedal board to build on. They are cheap prices when well made, come with nice carrying bag. I have a couple of pedals here, which I haven't even tried out yet. They're from Nuex, and they have different sizes, from big to kind of medium. So it's pretty cool. What? There have been. Artistic motive. What other motives do I have other than to? Okay, your question seems a little bit deep, so I'll get back to you. Didn't know you could update the lens. Yeah, I mean not the kit lens though, not the kit lens, but the Viltrox. Devin, yes, I do like. Oh, okay. So you're Azor fan. Okay, someone was mentioning about the cover that I did. Oh, Timothy. Okay, I love your rendition of David Gates. You should do what? Living Born Tulsa time. No, I don't do requests. I did that song because I wanted to do that song. The cover for that song. You're talking about I used the soap. For the longest time. Yeah. Okay, so coming back to you, Cincy Piper. Let me try to understand your question again. May I ask, do you know what it is that? I know what it is that I'm trying? My artistic. Okay. Do I know what is my artistic motive by playing music? there's there's not really a motive there. I think I love music since of very young, since I was like 5 or 6. I started to. I remember I sang in my when I was in class when I was 6 or 7 years old. I did the old song San Francisco. Some of you old timers might know If you're going to San Francisco, right? So I sang that in class, and I was like really nervous, but I was just um, glad to be able to sing, and I sang that song in class, and that was my first performance, public performance. Yeah, so I didn't think nothing of it. I thought, I just had to get it out of my system. I sang everywhere I go, everywhere, especially on bus rides. So when I'm taking a bus with my parents, uh, whenever I take the bus with the window, used to have like the old buses. They don't have air conditioning, so we have open windows, and I would love the breeze coming in. I would just sing, you know, I would just sing all my favorite songs. Even at a very young age, like 7, 8, all the way, I will be singing. Some people get irritated, but most of them didn't mind my singing. Yeah, I think they find it cute. It's you're a cute little boy singing. I was a cute boy back then. Uh, so I think it's always been a gift for me. I think God gave me a gift just to make music. And then as I grew up, I wanted to take up an instrument. So I decided on guitar. Not because of any other motive. I came from a all boys, a Catholic school, right? So it's all boys. And it wasn't because I wanted to impress the girls, because there was no girls in my school. But I just wanted to take up the guitar because I just fell in love with the shape of the guitar, the music, the sound that it make, and I couldn't afford one, so I had to pester my father to get me a guitar. And I think the guitar cost me, if I'm not mistaken, about $50 Singapore dollars, 50 Singapore dollars back then. It had a coconut shape, a coconut drawing on the guitar itself. The action was so high, and it was strung with steel strings. And it was a pain to play it, but I play it. I play it like my life depended on it, because I was so passionate about playing the guitar just to hear the sound it emits. And I learned guitar on my own. I didn't even know how to tune it. I got my cousin to help me. My cousin knew that I have a great cousin. I have three cousins from my mom's side, and they love me so much. They kind of took me in as their little brother, and we are all from the same school. So they kind of taught me the basic of how to tune. For example, the old school tuning, like the fifth fret, the fourth fret on the third string and stuff like that. No tuning fork, no guitar tuners, nothing. So I have to learn how to tune it myself. And then I decided to go out and buy songbooks. We call them songbooks because literally they are books that are filled with songs with chords on it. So I love John Denver. I love what's this guy, Gordon Lightfoot. I like all these folkish kind of songs. I love what Feliciano? The blind guy, Jose Feliciano. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. Simple songs, and that's how I picked up. I think the first song that I ever played was that song. And I wish I were a hammer than a nail. Yes, I would. If I only could, I surely would. I forgot the title of the song. But that's one of the first songs that I played and learned. And I graduated from there because these songbooks are really cool because they have charts, like drawings on what is a C, what's a C6, what's the E7, what's the A minor. So I learned it from there. That was my teacher. When it comes to guitar playing, these books, I wish I kept a couple of these copies, but those are my teacher. Yes, Sundown, Sundown, you better take care. Oh, I love that song. I know how old you are, Todd. Hi, Todd. Good for you. Good of you to drop in. Yeah, so I got all this, and I started making music. And my cousin took pity on me and decided to give me their Congress guitar. It's a mahogany, all mahogany acoustic guitar, which I think was, if I'm not mistaken, they were manufactured in Japan at that time, Congress. And they were so kind to pass it to me. And I loved the guitar so much because it was so easy to play, much easier than the one that I had. And my father didn't think that I would excel in guitar playing at all. He thought that it was just going to be a phase and I'll probably get out of it and go to something else. But I stuck on with it. I sang at home. I sang every chance I get. Even when I was like in my teenage years, when for you guys I think it's high school. I would go camping and I'll bring my guitar along, and soon enough it evolved to forming a band. So I had a band, a four-piece band, and yeah, we had great fun. We had great fun making music and making all sorts of mistakes. And that's where I started playing electric guitars because we would head on to the studio in the heart of Orchard Road. Some of you have been to Singapore, you understand where's Orchard Road. Orchard is like the how should we call it? It's like Fifth Avenue, right? Singapore's Fifth Avenue. Today it's like everywhere. You go shopping for all the stuff there. It's a upper class shopping area right now. But back in the days, back in the 70s, it was still okay. But there were like shop houses and stuff like that. So they had a studio back then, and we would pay like $7 an hour for a studio. And in the studio, you have big Marshall amps, or rather copy amps, great Fender or Gibson guitars. Most of them are copy, right? And I would play the guitars from the studio. I didn't even have the money to own a electric guitar, and I would always view one of my classmates with envy because he bought a Gibson Les Paul. Back then, when I was like 17, 16 years old, he had a Gibson Les Paul, but that's the way life is. So I started playing electric guitar in the studio, only in the studio. So coming back to your question, there's no motive. I just wanted to make music, and I've been making music since then, since the tender age of 6 or 7. I never stopped making. I don't think I will stop anytime soon, until God calls me home. But some people have motives like making tons of money, getting all the chicks, and being in the limelight, being famous. I went through all that, but it was never one of my desires. I had a great wife. I mean, I still have a great wife. I have a great wife, and she loves me so much, and I love her so much. So there's nothing that I desire more. In terms of fame, I'm always someone behind the lights. I'm always like doing production work. I'm producing. I'm playing session. I haven't come out in any album of any sort myself, so I'm never in the limelight. There was a brief period that I was in the limelight because I had a song that became a hit, but that was about it. I didn't like it. I didn't like to be in the limelight because it's too much scrutiny and too much attention to myself. After all, I'm a very quiet person, in case you haven't noticed. So so there was no other motives than just to make music. I know the videos that I make. Like sometimes I get so bored at the covers that I do. I love doing that because I need to get out of my system. I need to make music. It's just like, to put it a little bit more crudely, it's like having the urge to fart, but you find that you can't do it anywhere in public. You gotta snuck off to a corner and just let go and let one rip. So it's something like that, but less distasteful than that. So I just want to get my music out and just do a cover of songs that I love. The videos are a good channel for me to exercise this. Yeah, so that's my only motive, I guess. All right, so I hope I answered your question. Diego Martinez, hola. What do you think about the different music genres in the future? Which will last or disappear? Ah, oh. Again, this is very subjective. You're asking a child of the 60s. Um, I think funk will survive. Funk, yeah. Um, if you're talking about the other genres like rock, heavy metal, jazz, these will always be there. But I think funk will always be uh, kind of popular with the younger generation because of the way the music is, funk, disco kind of stuff. Like even now you hear Kylie Minogue or even the Uptown, you know, what's that guy? I forgot the name. Uptown Funk, right? It's still funky. Like people are still watching play that funky music, in YouTube. And yeah, and even like guys like Cory Wong, funk, it's still funk. So I think there's still a place there for that genre of music. And yes, Timothy Alcona Pasa, thank you so much. Right, you probably sang in the wind for that funny sound. You are right, Dennis. You are so right. And I have tummy ache right after that because I had letting too much wind into my stomach. Hi Todd, how are you? Um Mark, my uncle was my influence for wanting to play guitar. I got my first guitar for Christmas when I was 12. It was a cheap Montgomery let me pronounce it. Montgomery. Okay, Montgomery Watts guitar, and very hard to play, but I stuck with it. Yeah, right. Yeah. David, I'm 41, but most morning feel considerably older. Todd Masquerade. I love the Boxer. Oh, I love the Boxer. Yeah, I used to play the Boxer all the time. La 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 la. Love that song, especially the recording of that song. I was talking to my student today about some of the songs that were done in the past. A lot of it have certain parts, or if you listen to the old song, like there was even a song written about old songs. Remember the old songs, right? They have a flavor to it, and sometimes I can even smell, almost taste how it was like when I first heard that song. Like Stephen Bishop, when I first heard Stephen Bishop, it was because of "Save It for a Rainy Day," and I was like 16 or 15 years old, yeah. And when I first heard that song on the radio, I can still remember today how it felt like. I remember it was a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning at 10:30 because that's where I'll put on the radio before we watch the FA Cup matches with my dad, the football matches that was on Sunday mornings. I remember hearing that song and was like captivated by it. Wow, what a lovely song. And then this incredible wah wah guitar solo by Eric Clapton. I can remember the day that I first heard it. And some of the songs subsequently, like you just mentioned, like The Boxer, for example. I remember hearing that song late at night on the radio and wanting to learn how to play that song. I remember the key was in A minor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it just brings so much memories back to me whenever I hear some of this old song. Dennis, I learned some song over 78 RPM, but that my mother and aunt recorded with their country. Oh, cool! That's so cool, Dennis. David, my first guitar was a cream color electric Marlin. It just wasn't the best. No, I do not know JP Conyers music, Mark. Homeward Bound, yeah, 99 song. David, behind every man there's a great woman with the right foot. Todd, John, I know the era from which we fell in love with guitars. Did MTV influence you at all? No, on the contrary, no. I used to hate MTV when it first started because everybody was miming at that time. I was when MTV was released. I was playing in bands. I was playing nights, and I used to think that MTV was a joke because of the way it was shot, and singers would be miming it and miming it wrong. But it improved later on with the I think with David Bowie, everything started getting interesting, and even with Queen, So, hey, then the MTV started to get a little bit more interesting, and yeah, I think it evolved a whole lot from there. I used to watch this other one, the Midnight Special. Well, the reason why I like Midnight Special because the bands were all playing live. It's pretty awesome. There's the other program which is quite famous called Solid Gold, in case you guys remember, and those are mostly mime, and sometimes they cut the episode really short, and just to make space for advertisement and all that. So I really hate that, but I love the Solid Gold dancers. Anyway, um, Cincy Piper, thank you for much appreciated. Thank you so much. Carpathus, yes. David, all my time memories are related to songs of that period. Right. So whenever you hear a certain song, like whenever I hear Oliver Newton-John in the app, in the radio, or when I'm playing my CD or my AirPod, I'm playing my playlist when I'm cycling, it will bring me back to the time when I was a teenager and I had a crush on her. Have you ever been mellowed? How can anyone not love that song? The wonderful guitar parts in it, the arrangement, and her voice, her sweet voice, which with really wide vocal range. And yeah, there's another song. Have you ever been mellowed? What's the other song that I really love? From Oliver and John. Oh wait, let me see. Oh my good lord, I forgot. How can I forget my favorite song? Where's my music program? What? Where'd it go? Where's my iTunes? Oh, there you go. Oh yes, Russell. Her voice was so unique, and so nice, so sweet, and she's a looker too, right? So used to have a crush on her. Oh, whole lot of crush, heavy crush on her. Do I have Oliver Newton-John? Oh, I do. So, I don't have it. I don't have the best of it. Oh, Don't Stop Believing. Yeah, another favorite song of mine. Don't Stop Believing. Beautiful guitar work. I discovered that the guitarist was John Farrar, who happened to be her producer. And he's got a fabulous voice. He sounds like Cliff Richard, and his guitar playing, my good lord, the guitar parts that I was hearing is like, whoa. Yeah. Okay, so I got someone writing in Chinese. Thank you. I don't read Chinese. Sam, yeah, Sam, and then there are a whole lot of songs. Please, Mr. Please, thank you very much. Auto-tune doesn't work as well as in the studio. Oh, miming live and don't bother. Alright, okay. Translation. Zhang Yi, hello brother. I watch every video. Thank you. Thank you, Logify. You're an angel. Okay, I don't read Chinese, but I can speak it. 谢谢你，谢谢你，谢谢你的支持。呀啦，就这样。你有什么问题，你就可以问我，在这边 ，OK？ 你是从哪来的？你是大陆的还是台湾？ And then evolve to our 80s, where you have Journey and the rock groups. Don't get me started on the rock groups that I was listening when I first started playing the guitar. Deep Purple, Free, Little Bad Company, Uriah Heep, Grand Funk Railroad. Oh my good lord. Rare Earth. Remember that group, Rare Earth? Get ready, 'cause here I come. Carlos Santana for a while. Santana not so much, just 1, 2 albums. And the other group that I really love is Pablo Cruz. I know a lot of you know who is or who are Pablo Cruz. I love that group so much. And then later on came Toto, and the other guys, Airplane, stuff like that, Police, Starship. Yeah, so all these groups are like the Next, for example. They have a one-hit wonder, but what a group! Who else? And the Japanese group. Okay, don't get me started on Japanese group. I love Anjenti Dai. I love, of course. I love what's the other guy? I forgot his name. Ah man, I forgot his name. Uh, Ichihawa. Yeah, or Ichihawa. Yeah, great songs back then. Hi Robert, how are you? I have a few minutes. Want to chime in and say hello? Oh, your naming some I remember as a kid. I'm 51 Tuesday. He's a young punk. Get out of here. What you doing in an old man's club? 51, congratulations. On Tuesday, huh? Happy birthday to you. Yes, Carlos. Pablo Cruz, cool band. Your favorite singer is Paul Rogers. Yeah, I love his voice so much. Yeah. And Dennis, I can remember the night Linda Ronstadt came to Muscle Show Sound. I bought my D28 for Jimmy Johnson to play on the recording. He loved the guitar. Oh, man. Linda Ronstadt was hot back then. She was so hot. Her smile and her voice. My good Lord. These are the two female singers that I think can never repeat themselves even today. No one can come close. Well, actually there were three. That is Linda Ronstadt, Olivia Newton-John, and Barbara Streisand. Right? I think, yeah, they're one of a kind. Really one of a kind. Boss Skaggs, yes, Carlos. I love Boss Skaggs. I have all his albums, actually. I was such a fan of Boss Skaggs. Yeah. Bob Seger from Railroad. Michigan bands. Dan Deman, have a great day. Thank you. Are you going off or what? Oddball sampler. What do I think about the DoD looking glass? Never heard of it yet, so I don't know. Robert Clark, thank you. I'm Grasshopper to you. Yes, Grasshopper. Go in peace. Danny, she was such a sweet person. I'll bet she is. Yeah, she looks sweet. I saw her on YouTube and some of the videos I saw her live. Incredible performer. She plays the guitar really well. Incredible musician. Ann Wilson, yes. Ann Wilson has a unique voice too. Yeah. I mean, there are a whole lot of other great iconic female voices. But the three that I mentioned are so unique in their own style. Ann Wilson, of course, is a rock singer. So they're, Ann Wilson and the singer from Starship, yeah, a bit different, but almost the same genre. As far as male vocalists, Paul Rogers up there. Mickey Thomas, in case you don't know who is Mickey Thomas. Mickey Thomas is the guy in Starship. He's the one who sings all the high parts. Beautiful voice. Of course, you have what's that guy? Who's the guy in Journey? Who's the guy in Journey? The lead singer in Journey, right? Incredible voice, Freddie Mercury. And then you have what's that guy? What's the guy called? The guy Lou Gramm, right? The guy from Foreigner. These are all great vocalists. And the one from Rainbow, what's his name? all these names, I keep on forgetting this name because I don't mention it quite often. All these guys have very iconic voices, and then these are for the rock scene. And for the pop, you have guys like David Gates, for example. You have Elton John, of course. You have what's this guy called? I Go Crazy. What's the name of the song? I Go Crazy. Steve Perry. Yes, thank you very much. Hold on. Paul Davis, right? Paul Davis is an incredible vocalist as well as a songwriter. Then there's Stephen Bishop, right? And so many iconic pop singers, But in the rock genre, so many of them, like incredible vocalists. Mark Farner was one of my favorite rock vocalists too from Grand Funk Railroad. I didn't quite like Ian Gillan, but I really love David Coverdale's vocal, as well as Glenn Hughes, the bassist for Deep Purple. I love his vocal because it's so unique. And then of course there's this guy from Rush. Right, I forgot his name, but what is his name? The guy from Rush. Okay, Canadians, you guys should know. Geddy Lee, right? Geddy Lee has a really unique voice. Yeah. So there are iconic voices, and whenever you hear, every time you hear these voices, you'll bring back a piece of history for you. Uh, um, Incredible. I can think of so many groups, super groups, like 10cc for example. I love their songs because it's so intellectual, not because I'm intellectual, but I just was so intrigued by the way they write their lyrics, and incredible musicians, at the same time, very innovative, very creative. And like Queen, Queen is another super group which is very intellectual. Actually, if you tend to look closely into the lyrics. And yes, thank you, Carlos. Little River Band, one of my favorite bands too. But I prefer Little River Band with Paul. What's this guy called? Glenn Sherrock, right? With John Farnham, it was different. I just like John Farnham as a solo artist. Yeah, but when he was with Little River Band, it was okay. But I prefer Glenn Sherrock when he was with Little River Band. And the musicians there, the harmonies, oh my good lord. And don't let me start on Eagles, right? So Eagles is always on the top of my list of all these bands. Man, we'd be throwing names whole night. Oddball Sampler, I live in Japan, although you are not Nihonjin. Do you know of any current bands that are awesome currently falling? Falling who? I don't get you. I'm not Nihonjin. No, I'm Chinese. Singaporean Chinese. Yeah, Debbie Harry is so cute. Yeah, but other than a good voice, she was so cute. Very iconic look, Yes, Dio. What's his name? Ronnie Dio, right? Ronnie Dio. Oh. Axl Rose was in his prime. Phil Collins, yes, is another one. Paul Carrack, yes. Bono, I'm not really into U2. Yeah, I like H guitar playing, especially with the delays and stuff like that. But not really my cup of tea. Oddball Sample. What about the Orange Rocker 32? Are stereo amps overrated or a pain in the ass to do stereo in live setting? It's not a pain if you have enough mics. So I don't know what's the capacity of yourself in the band. Are you just a guitar player? Because if you're just a guitar player, I think it doesn't really matter. What matters is if you find an amp that you like and you're happy with the sound, you can just get on with it. whether it's stereo or mono, it's totally dependent on the sound man, whether how he wants to project your guitar sound. If you get a good sound man who really likes your playing and want to make the best of the stereo capability of the amp, he would make an effort. Yeah. Just got a black tea with milk. Teo. We call it Teo. Timothy would know. What? Laura Pergosli? Really nice. Yeah. Huh. What's the first time I heard about her? I should go and check her out soon. Hey, don't stop talking. I'm gonna drink my coffee. We have a flu bug. Well, probably not a flu bug, but a stomach flu bug happening. My eldest daughter got it like a couple of days back. Thursday, not mistaken. Thursday, Friday. Yeah. And she was vomiting like 7 times in the night. Yeah. Poor girl. And she was vomiting all the way to the late morning, and then finally the stomach kind of settled down. And my wife just got it like yesterday on well, this Sunday. It's Monday right now, but yeah, she got it on Saturday. So she's recovering right now. So there's a stomach flu going around. So I have to be very careful about it. I just don't want to have it, hitting on me right this time. I cannot afford it. Yeah. Okay, so how you guys doing? Dan D Man, where you from, Dan D Man? Dan, do you tell me where you are from? Thank you, Logify. Hi, Jamal. Have you heard of Extreme New Songs? Nuno Berencourt, guitar playing sublime. Check out their new songs if you haven't already. Yeah, I will. I love Extreme. Yeah, I love the band especially. Great songs and incredible guitar player. Yeah, these are the guitar players that when I watch them play, I'm gonna give up guitar. I'm gonna take up basketball. No, I'm gonna take up pasta making. Yeah, just give up guitar. Oh yeah. So yeah, so you told me that you're from Quebec earlier on. Short-term memory loss. Yeah, you were here in the get-go, didn't you? Were you? Let me see now. Hmm. Seems to be missing a couple of chats here. I don't know why. Yeah. Strange. I thought I remember seeing. That's probably you from Quebec, and I did mention that I went to Quebec a couple of years back. And I love the place so much. I remember I had bagels from Quebec too. All right, so Tom Jones, amazing voice. My brother worked with him on an album where a tambourine started the record, and went all the way through. Wow, the patch bay hookup looks like a bowl of spaghetti. This guitar from Australia named Peony, incredible guitarist. Oh wow, nice. Yeah, I like Tom Jones. I like Indelbert Humperdinck too. Um, yeah. So we can talk about music, um, but ask yourself, what does it do for you? I get I I used to I used to have a car, right? So I gave up driving like 5 years ago, or maybe six now. I don't know, 5 years ago. Or yes, Carlos, I love Burt Bacharach's music a whole lot. Wonderful songwriter. So I was talking about yeah, or hearing music, what it does to you. And I drive pretty fast. I'm a fast driver. I'm a very impatient guy when it comes to driving. I just want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. Not your ideal safe driver. I had a couple of guys that came in for shows, and I drive them around from overseas, and they always say that no, John is like a demon driver. But the funny part is when he's driving like 100 km per hour on the highway or 101, that I'll be playing Oliver Newton-John. Have you ever been mellowed? Stuff like that, and I'll be driving like a daredevil. You would think that I'll be playing like Highway to Hell from AC/DC, but I was not. I was playing like really nice, slow dancing music, and I would love it. It just puts my whole demeanor, really calm. Music does that to me. I think I could put on a song and sleep with it, preferably not too loud, especially an album that I've been listening for a long time. But if I put on a piece of music like some happening stuff like from Extreme, the new album, I probably would not get a wink of sleep at all, because I'll be like analyzing, oh, how does he do that? How does Nuno do this? I'll be like thinking about how they mix that, and why do they have the guitar sound like this, and why he plays that in a certain way, and I would not sleep at all. I cannot rest, So these are music for me to analyze, and I do that. Sometimes I put on, when Steve Vai first came out, I'm going, whoa, Flexible, right? The first album that he came out, and I'll be like, what? I'll be like spending hours listening to the album again and again, and wondering what the heck is he doing, So yeah, so there are thinking music and there are relaxing music. For me, at this age, I tend to relax a whole lot more and not get too worked up. Yes, Tommy Emmanuel, then very good player, very very good player. Timothy, hockey playoff game started, gotta go. Okay, whatever. David K, music is one of the most important things in my life. From playing to listening, can transport me back in time when I hear a certain song. It can pick me up when I'm down. I think hell would involve, no music. I think hell will involve bad music. Guys will be singing out of tune. Instruments couldn't stay in tune because it'd be so hot. Their guitars would not stay in tune. But go figure that hell is run by Lucifer, who is the master of worship and music, in heaven, who used to be, before he was banished. So I don't know. Logify, John always listened to death metal while driving. That's how he became faster. Before he was music helped me with the hard parts of depression. Oh, oddball. Okay, so are you still going through that, oddball? David K, I find Pink Floyd is great for relaxing or falling asleep too. Yeah, until you get to the guitar solo part. Alan Parsons did a happening job, on Dark Side of the Moon. The way the album, in terms of sonic quality, right, the sound. Now I was just listening to Fleetwood Mac, and I was listening to a recording of the album. What's the song? You Make Loving Fun. You Make Loving Fun, right? That song. The drum and bass is so incredibly recorded. It's so well recorded. It's like, whoa. And this was back in the 70s, right? Yeah, probably late 70s. And I had to applaud Alan Parsons for great engineering work for Dark Side of the Moon because the album sounded really good. Carlos, there's a unknown band called the 77s from the 80s, 90s. Cool song, check them out for a different sound. Oh. All right, Mark, you take care. Have a great week ahead. The 77 album Sticks and Stones is very cool. Okay. Hey, Orion, how are you? That Jons album done in the days before automation. Tempo sped up or down without interruption on tambourine right until the next song. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's what they used to do, right? That is, they would, like, record the whole music, and when the singers goes in, and then, oh, this is a bit high for me, so they very speed it, bring down the speed, maybe a slight drop in tempo because you cannot have it all. Not like today, you can bring down the pitch and not bring down the tempo. But back then, you had to, like, sacrifice a little bit on the tempo and just get it a tad down. Sometimes half of a half tone, as long as it helps the singer. I was doing that cover from David Gates. I Used the Soap. I always thought the song was in G, but surprise, surprise, it wasn't in G. It was in G flat, F sharp. So I have to tone my guitar and my bass half a tone down, and I find it interesting because it has a very different sound. Yeah, it has a very different sound even for half step down. Guitar played in G has a different quality to it, and it's very relaxing. So I don't know. Probably because David Gates didn't want it to be too high. He can reach all the high notes, but maybe he wanted this song to have a sort of a warm quality to it, or he just wanted people to sing along with it. I don't know. Back in the days when we have analog recording, I remember when I was in the studio, we first got our computer system where we can do automation. We were like, dude, is this real? I mean, can this really do it? And we didn't have like all the flying faders, right? We have like stagnant faders, but you can hear the stuff will be going up and down. And we were always suspecting that things would go wrong, but which it never did because the system was fail proof. And it was so much fun because that was the first time that we mixed an album without three or four guys, 3 or 4 pairs of hands moving certain things, and it was fun. It was like I remember I was mixing an album back then, and I had a ball of a time because I was working the computer system, and hearing, okay, I'm going to do this slight fader movement and stuff. Today, oh my good lord, today when I'm mixing like certain stuff that I do at home, it's so much fun. Okay, thank you, Siri. Yeah, I could mix so much. I can do so much, right? With the automation that I have in my computer system, that is crazy. I can draw, the outline of how I want my volume changes to be. It's crazy. Kent Tamura. Aloha, John. Aloha. Really enjoy listening relaxing tune as driving in Honolulu has become hectic, really. I enjoy Peter White, Larry Carlton, Mr. Gilmore, and Song and Santana's early samba Latin tunes. Wow, nice. Likewise, yeah. I love all of them, yeah. Except for maybe Peter White. I don't really I never listened to any of his stuff yet. Yeah, that's something that I should look at. I'm still discovering. I'm still young. And Dennis, that wasn't long after the wax string. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's quite amazing how technology has evolved. You know, I remember countless takes on vocals because singers couldn't get it on pitch, and you can see singers breaking down are crying, sitting on the floor and wailing because they're just so frustrated because they spent like 5 hours on one song, standing up there trying to sing. Um, I I decided when I became a producer that there's no point standing up and singing unless it's a certain technique that you develop over the years. I find that as a singer myself, that I sing better when I'm sitting. And I think there is a reason for it. I don't know, probably because of the diaphragm being depressed by the weight of your body and your head. You know, I don't know. Maybe it makes me a little bit more grounded. So as far as singing is concerned, when I'm recording, or when I'm producing, I'd rather have my singers sitting down so that they don't stress themselves by standing up and trying to, it gets very tiring after standing for 2 hours, or an hour straight, or even for half an hour straight. It gets real tiring. But you can sit down and try and try and try to deliver your lines as much as you can, and not feel the stress of the weight upon your knees and your feet. Yeah. So that's why I've discovered, um, as I produce, as I did production. I'm old, carpenters. I can feel my bones aching and creaking. I am old. Um, well, that's how life is. But I gotta applaud Dennis. Dennis is like someone else. He's gotta do all the stuff in the studio and all that. And you know, I'm not. Hopefully, I end up like Dennis. It was amazing how he figured out how to change tempo and key without just distorting order. Yeah, definitely. And but then again, we have really great outboard gear back then. Great compressors, great preamps. So I'm not really surprised that and you got to tip your hats off to the British. Ever since Abbey Road and stuff like that, and where some of the technology and know-how spill over to the United States, and guys from there started cracking out really good outboard gears. But you gotta tip your hats off to the engineer back then. The ones who invented all these compressors and preamps. They have it down. And really great sound back at the time, and the high fidelity of it. You can hear the hi hats. My good lord, you can actually hear the hi-fi quality of the hi hats and everything, and they all sounded really nice, not jarring, not harsh, not digital because it's not digital. But you can hear this whole thing, and it's so awesome to hear it these days, because nowadays with the iTunes release albums, oh man, there's no quality at all. Everything is like all up there. All the squash frequencies and volumes. Heavily compressed and emphasized. Mastered, heavily mastered. That it lost all um, ability to have room for dynamics. No dynamics at all. Everything is just up there. Um, and it's a trend, I know, and I myself am guilty of doing that because you just want everything to be up there. But there are times when you need music to be less of it. So I try to control myself every time. But I'm okay because most of the covers I do are pretty empty in many places. So it's not all up there. And that's something I strive for when I'm mixing my covers. And there's something I strive for when I'm mixing the album that I produce, because I would talk to the engineer and we would discuss about the level of compression that we have on the overall mix, as well as the individual compression of tracks like drums and vocals and bass. And this is where it all started. But I always wanted a little bit more room so that the music can breathe. Yeah. Oh, you went for a neat night ride. Nice. We're supposed to go riding tomorrow, but I can't. Tomorrow I have a busy day ahead. I got 3 songs to do to record guitars. So I hope to write on Tuesday night or at least Wednesday night. So I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to work on the songs that I'm supposed to work on when before I start rehearsal on the first, which is on Monday, next Monday. Yeah. So yeah, sorry that I don't have a new guitars to show you for the time being. Hopefully, when I get back on the 14th, on when I get back on the 10th or 11th itself, or the 10th itself, I have something for you. But for now, yeah. So yeah, check out my other reviews and other videos. And the thing about the covers, how many of you guys here? 16 of you guys. I spend a lot of time on the covers. In case you do not know, it's not easy to do a cover because I got to learn the songs. I have to play it. I have to record it, like how I would do arrangements. And sometimes I put a little bit more effort into the songs that I really like. And there's the harmonies. All these are all sung live. There's no melodyne or altitude where you can kind of like shift notes. I don't do all that. That for me is a no-no because it's just like faking it. I sing all the parts myself, and it takes a lot of effort in doing a covers. But the response that I get from covers are not really. It doesn't justify the means, and it's very how should I say? It's very discouraging for me sometimes when I spend a lot of time on a cover and I'm not getting the response that I get, and I don't blame you guys because I know you guys here love to hear my covers. You probably like them and all that because I can see you guys responding, but yeah, just to share with you, but it doesn't stop me because I will still do covers because like I said, what is my motive in making music? Because I gotta get it out. Yeah, I got to make music, play, sing, whatever I need to do. Not dance though. I'm a horrible dancer. The John Quartet. I got a mixing board with auto tune on 4 channels, but I never used it. I think my voice sounds bad. Oddball sampler. I like to listen to the engineers that record Julian Lard. Listen to the song Tributary Dynamic. Nice. The John Quartet. How do you record your covers? Guitar first? Yes. No. Depends. I would sometimes record shaker first because the shaker would be like a metronome for me, but in a more musical way. So I tend to have shakers going, yeah, throughout the whole song, and then I'll have a bar before I start my guitar. So I will play my guitar, and I will record what I need to. Sometimes I'll just do a guide guitar, in which case I'll just record line in and do the rhythm parts. And once I record that, I would program the drums. If there's drums. If there's no drums, I'll program like car horns and stuff like that, percussions. If there's nothing like that, like in the case of I use the soap, then I would proceed with bass, right? So bass after guitars, in which case the guitars are properly recorded. And then after the bass, I would do vocals, right? A main vocal, and after that all the backup vocals, and subsequently all the other guitar fills that I need to do because like for I used the soap, I was using my Duesenberg lap steel, so just for the end part, so I will add in all this stuff, and after that it's just a matter of mixing it, making sure that everything is where it's supposed to be according to my ears. And many a times when I mixed my cover and when I play back, I'm going, oh man, the second vocal is too loud, but it's already been out there, so there's no point of me canceling that upload and remixing again. So I just let it be because I prefer to be at a state where I first heard it, and if I'm satisfied with the mix, so be it. Um, there's only so much you can do because I do not like to. What's that word? Um, to beat a dead horse or to milk a dry cow. Yeah, I've seen guys working on a mix for days, and they will never be satisfied because it will still sound not optimal for them because they're such perfectionists. And in many ways, I'm a perfectionist, but I've learned as I grow older that, hey, just let it be as natural as you allow it. Because if that makes sound good to you, then release it. David K, only 2 hours left and work to go. Oh wow, you're at work? Hey, then demand indeed for my song, and I need to really love the song to replicate it. Yeah, true. Carlos, I put my music on YouTube channel. It's very humbling because my music sounds very much like an amateur. With modern technology, we can share our music. Yes, yeah, it's true. My music and mix, and my music mix and mastering is very beginner level. We have nowhere else to go but up, Carlos. So I didn't know nothing about mixing. I wasn't born an engineer. I wasn't even born a guitarist. I'm not a guitarist per se. So the only way to go is up. So as long as you keep on doing it, you'll get better and better and better each time you do it. But don't stop doing it. Logify, John, do you use reverb plugin for guitar? Acoustic guitar? Yes, I do. Yeah, I have the UAD, Universal Audio, so I have quite a lot of plugins, um, courtesy of a friend of mine. But anyway, yeah, I have all this wonderful lexicon 40Ls and 224s, great reverb units, the AMX stuff and all that. But um, it's an acquired taste on how much reverb you want on your acoustic guitar. Too much reverb, it just muddies the whole thing. So I tend to mix my acoustic guitar dry, and I got a couple of comments from some guy who complained that I did a cover of the Bonnie Raitt song. Um, I forgot the title of the song. Anyway, go check it out in my playlist. And that was recorded all dry and mixed all dry. So the vocal was dry, the guitars was dry, and I like it that way because I find it very organic. But he was complaining, saying, "Oh, it would be better if there's a reverb." I'm going like, okay, you listen to what you want to listen to, but this is how I listen to it. And why don't you tell the other artists how to mix their album? Why come and tell me how to mix my album? But he was okay. He wasn't being rude. He was just suggesting that reverb for the guitars would be good, a little bit more reverb for the vocals. But that's not what I want. I want it all dry. Yeah, so I get a lot of stuff from people spewing nonsense all the time. So I'm kind of used to it. But this guy wasn't all spewing nonsense. I know where he was going for. But he has to understand that's my interpretation of my music. I don't tell you how to mix your album. I will never tell you how to mix your album. Even though it suck, I will never say like, oh man, the mix wasn't good. Unless you're a close friend of mine and you ask me for my opinion, I will tell you. But if you are my best friend and you never ask me for opinion, I will just keep quiet and you will ask me, how was the mix? Can you tell me how to mix? And if I know you very well and I know that you cannot handle rejection, I will not tell you. I will say, hey, let's just leave it as that. It's okay. It's a good mix, and I'll leave it as that. And I won't come and tell you, say, oh, I think the frequency, the 12K wasn't enough. That your 50 hertz was too much. It was booming. I won't tell you all that. Overly too much compression, too much limiter. Yeah, I would tell you that vocals are too soft. I would say it's a great mix. You did the best you can, and that's it. And then we remain friends. What? Dennis, look at how good a song was recorded in the prison on a portable tape recorder. So good that it got him a pardon. Wow. Good night, Irene. Ah, yes. I heard the story, but I forgot who was it. Dry is also nice. Yes, of course. Dry is really good. You know what I want to do? I really wanted to have the courage to record a guitar solo on one of my, and which I did actually. I actually did a solo, a portion of a solo on one of the reviews, totally dry, and it's interesting. It's really interesting because you have all this nice reverb and delay, and out of nowhere, one part of the song, everything just comes down to just dry. Yeah. Going to hi, going to. I remember the days long ago when our band upgraded the old stereo tape machine to a Revox 8-track tape machine. It was such a hustle to mix us all, and nowadays in the DAW it doesn't sound that good. Nothing beats analog, nothing beats tape, nothing at all. You know, right? Cassette is making a comeback. Cassette and cassette Walkman is making a comeback. Crazy. U80, yes, they have come out a whole lot of pedals. Yeah, I think yeah, you're right. They had this tape machine delay echoes going on. It's old school. You know, we used to have that back in the days. Back in the days. Hmm. Good night, Irene. I heard that song before. Well, there's a whole lot of Good Night, Irene. Uh, so which is which Peter Seeger, Pete Seeger, or the Weaver? Couldn't be the Weaver. I think you're probably talking about Pete Seeger. Oh, so many Goodnight Irenes. Crazy. Logify, do cassettes have less low ends compared to digital recordings now? No, on the contrary, they do not have lack of low ends. They have very refined, a very rounded sound. So you can have the low ends there, but not boomy at all. It's kind of flat response, but you find it very round sounding and not harsh, like digital harsh. I remember when CD first came out, it was like, whoa, the word is clinical, very clinical. And after a while, the mastering engineers got the hang of it, and they kind of like, hey, let's not go too crazy with the high frequencies. And then things started sounding better on CD. But there's still this high frequency response that is totally different from the vinyl recordings or the cassette tapes or the 8 tracks that you have. Very different. Like the 8 tracks, some of you guys still have 8 tracks players, in the car or whatever. They sound different. Roland Rivera. Hey, hi. It's encouraging to hear that you have struggles with doing covers, because I wouldn't have known that just from seeing yours. I've done some myself and get discouraged, but I know I learned from doing it. Oh yes, I love doing it because I love making music, like I said, and the whole process of doing a cover song, I get to think about, I get to know and experience, what it was like recording at that time. Like for example, the song I use the soap. I I share it in the cover where I spoke on the last part of the song, where I share about how I was get intrigued by the musical interlude of the song. That song just lasted 2 minutes and 22 seconds. The original recording. Nobody comes up with song that short anymore. 2 minutes to record. 2 minutes and 22. You know why? It's such a good idea, because it's so short And if the song is really, really nice, people tend to replay the song. And you get a whole lot of requests for that song. And that's where you got a lot of airplay. That's how it worked. You don't get a song that's 5-7 minutes long, like, and then people tend not to replay all these long songs. But short songs, no problem. The DJ will oblige. Oh, I have another request for I use the soap, and they'll play again. And it's how the song became more and more popular. Very good strategy. I think it's great because you don't need a song that you don't necessarily need every song to be about 5 minutes long, right? So the interlude, amazing. So after I heard the song, I started learning the song and trying to figure out and utilize my experience in listening to parts. Oh, so it was done that way, and so it wasn't really that hard. I thought it was really hard, but because I hear him like singing and playing that, so it cannot be that hard. So, and I'm going, okay, so this, so now I know how it's done. Calvin, it's important to be able to discern the spewing nonsense from information that will really make the difference. And maybe my comment is spewing nonsense. Were you spewing nonsense, Calvin? I don't think so. Play till hurts. What? Yeah, so many goodnight Irenes out there. Analog is round and digital is always square. It just still got a 4-track tape player, and wow, nice. I have a cassette deck here from Pioneer. Wow, Pioneer, right? I still have it and it still works. I have to clean the head every now and then, because the tapes were like all really old, and oxide build up, so you have to clean the tape head every now and then with alcohol. Okay. Wow, it's almost 2 hours. I've been talking nonstop for 2 hours. I'm such a yapper. Okay, and did I just tell you guys I'm a quiet guy? I lied. No, only with you guys. So because this is a live stream, I can't be having a live stream and looking at the screen and not saying anything. What sort of live stream would that be? I just bought a new knife. This of course came from China. Interesting knife, very sharp. Gotta be careful with this. Okay. It's got a wooden handle. A really nice design blade. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. I bought it because I wanted to have a working knife that I can use when I'm doing my unboxing and stuff like that. I used to have another knife, but it ran on blades that are interchangeable, but I do not have the spare blades, so I stopped using it after a while. It's a nice knife. Yeah, really heavy duty sort of a knife here. Yeah, but it runs on a very different system. It's like a like one of those cutter, those box cutter kind of blade, which I don't have a replacement for this. Which is such a waste because I like the half of it. So it's really good when you're actually like opening up boxes and sliding out boxes. Yeah, I might have to look for replacement blades for this pretty soon. Thank you, Dan. Dennis, on the old tape players, you engage tape with a lever and the drive wheel moves the tape. Yes, true. I watched The Exorcist yesterday. I was so bored. I wanted to have a live stream yesterday, but somehow I just didn't have the mood for it. I don't know why. So I decided to watch Exorcist, the original Exorcist, the director's cut, and Exorcist 3. So, William Friedkin, right? William Friedkin was the one who directed Exorcist, the first one. And then the 2 was a sham. So forget about Exorcist 2 because it's just plain rubbish. And Exorcist 3 was directed by William Blady, who actually wrote the book, you know. So interesting. And it's got George C. Scott in it. I didn't finish the whole movie. I think I have like about half an hour more to go. But the similarity between Exorcist 1 and Exorcist 3 was pretty close. Although there are some discrepancies here and there, but the mood of the movie, you know, retains the same mood. Interesting, you know. So, and there was this scene in Exorcist 1 where they were replaying the tape of Reagan, you know, the poor girl who's been possessed by the devil or the demon, and he was doing like backtracking, and this thing was in English but in reverse, you know. So you're seeing all this like rewinding and all that, and that reminded me of all this controversy about backmasking, you know, about Eagles, Hotel California, Stairway to Heaven, and some other songs that involves backmasking and all that, and having hidden messages and sublime messages. So yeah, you remember those things, guys? Yeah, I'm sure you guys probably heard of it. And music. Oh, you saw the devil inside out, really? Yeah. So I got the devil inside. No, no. All right, Todd. You take care, Todd. Great film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is a classic too. Yeah, I have it. I have two. I have it too. Nice. And yeah, tape machines, you know, especially the ones where you have reel to reel tapes. Oh, I love those. I wish I bought one of those, uh, but I couldn't afford one back in the days. Maybe I could look at a second-hand one these days and have one placed somewhere here. I don't have space for it, but I would love a reel to reel tape. But the problem is getting the reels. You know, are there any reels out there in the market, like, you know, of your favorite groups or albums on reel? That'll be nice. You know, turn it on. You know, this whole thing is moving. It's so cool, and hearing it in a tape format will be so nice. Carpenter's too scary for me. Last movie I watched was Atomic Blonde. I love that show. Yeah, so good. Uh, is backmasking a real thing? Well, apparently it was. How should I say? There were people who are doing it intentionally, and you can hear that it's been done intentionally. For Hotel California, I don't think so. There wasn't any backmasking involved. The guys in Eagles has spoken about it in a documentary. You know, it's been, you know, there wasn't it just by chance that, you know, there are certain words when you're, you know, sometimes I do that, you know, especially when I'm doing editing on my vocal track, you know, when I'm moving my cursor, you can actually hear your original voice going backwards, reverse. Sometimes you hear like, what did I just say? You know, it's like a word, but it's not intentional at all. It just happens to come out that way, you know. So I don't know. Bear, I can't watch horror movies. My spirit get disturbed. Oh, then don't watch it. You know, if it's disturbing for you. You know, probably a dozen cassette players record a rewritten song for my mother-in-law funeral. Send your best angel. We did a quartet. My younger brother, his wife, and oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, Dennis. All right, coming back to you, Bear. the reason why I watch all these horror movies, um, sometimes it's just, I used to ask one of my pastor friends a long time ago, and this guy is an evangelist. He's filled with the Holy Spirit. So I asked him, I said, Pastor, do you watch horror movies? He says, yes, I do. And my wife going like a double take, my wife, right? So I said, you do? I said, yeah. Then my wife asked him, so why do you watch horror movies? You're a pastor, you know? And then he says, I have to know what the devil is up to. What sort of trickery and lies he's been spewing to people. What sort of instrument of fear that he's instilled into people so that he knows how to deal with them. And I think that was a quite a wonderful answer to it. But it depends on person to person. If you think your spirit cannot handle it, then don't do it. For me, I can handle it because I've been watching horror movies since the age of 5, for crying out loud. Blame my old man, my dad, who indoctrinated me on horror movies just to make a man out of me. So through the years, I discovered about special effects and stuff like that, and henceforth I indoctrinate my kids the same way. So my eldest daughter Kelly, when she was like 7, 8, she will watch horror movies with me. Like, for example, Exorcist. She watched Exorcist with me when she was like 7 or 8 years old, and she would be good. Oh, and I'll say, okay, I'll pause, and I say, look, when the head turn around, it's not her. If you look at her face, you know it's not her, because it's not her. It's a puppet. And I explain about the pea soup. There's actually pea soup. There's nothing, no vomit involved. And a whole lot of stuff that you're watching, like decapitation and all that. Later on, these are all fake heads and stuff like that, fake blood. And I explained to her that that all these movies are created to scare the shit out of you. Pardon my French. And they have to make it really graphic so that you'll be shocked. But when it comes to ghost, when you have we have a whole lot of horror movies in Asia, from the Chinese, from the Japanese, from the Thais. Oh my good lord, the Thais are really scary. And the Koreans, right? The Koreans have made really classic horror movies since I don't know when. And these are all like atmospheric horror movies, no gore and blood and stuff like that. But you can feel an ominous presence and stuff like that. And I had to explain to my kids when they came of age, when they decided to give their life to Christ, that all these are all instruments of fear that's been instilled upon us by the devil, who seeks just to intimidate us with fear, with a forlorn feeling of depression and despair, right? And that's the word that the Exorcist used, despair. When the two, there's a scene. This is in the director's cut, when the two, Father Karras and the other one, Merlin, right, was in the stairs, and they were talking about why do this happen? Why do God allow this possession to happen? And what the devil seeks to achieve in this. And I think Merlin said it's just to make us despair. And that's one of the tools that the devil used to kill us, to destroy us, because we have been loved by God. God has loved us so much. The devil is so jealous of us that he seeks to destroy us, to kill, steal, and destroy. So part of it is to put despair into our hearts, into our lives, so that we feel desperate, we feel in utter despair that we want to kill ourselves. And it's where suicide comes from, depression comes from there. And I know, because I've been through all that. And it's not because of the horror movies, right? But in the course of watching all these horror movies, you'll understand that these are all tried and true tricks of the devil. The new ones, like Evil Dead 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, whatever, they have the new version of Evil Dead. It's just a rehash of everything that was from the first movie. And after a while, you understand, if you read the Bible, that what Peter said is true. Is that after, or was it Paul who says that the devil's trick are just the same. It's all the same. It just a merry-go-round. It's just like Trump. Sorry, Okay, all right. Let me get it out of the way. Just erase what I just said. It's just like some people who just say the same lies again and again and repeat themselves. And as you all know, the devil is a liar. So he'll repeat all these tricks. I think was it Peter? I think Peter says that he's not unaware of the same tricks that the evil one has been doing. Just to trick us. And for me, I'm not really a fan of horror movies, but when it comes to spiritual movies, in case of when Exorcist first came out, I wasn't into it. I wasn't even scared. I heard reports about people fainting in the cinema, in the theater, people getting all panic, and I wasn't affected at all because I went there. I look at the spinning head and go, oh, that's fake. And but again, I was ignorant because I wasn't spiritually in tune with God. Later on, when I watched The Exorcist, many years later, I come to realize, oh, there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. And even though I'm a so-called Christian, evangelistic Christian, and The Exorcist is predominantly a Catholic-based, story, I can understand where this ongoing battle between good and evil arises, because I experienced it myself, And for me, it's good to see what other people think about it. There are some other movies that are really bad, like really weird. I remember there's a horror movie from Taiwan. I think it's called The Curse or something. I didn't even watch it because I watched the first 5 minutes of it and I didn't, like you, Carlos, I didn't feel good. My spirit was saying, don't watch this. And I obey the spirit, and it's just, okay, I'm not going to watch this. And I think I'm better off for it. So if your spirit is telling, if your spirit man is telling you don't watch it, then don't watch it, Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Oh, where are we now? Where are we? Wow, you guys have written so much. And there I was just yakking away. Analog is more warm. It doesn't cut out a whole lot of frequencies like digital does. It doesn't, no, it play to hertz. It doesn't emphasize a whole lot higher frequency than digital does. Yeah. Then the man Robert Plant says it's nonsense. It was hard not to record itself for magic back when. Right? But these guys, they propagate their own myth. Jimmy Page bought a castle that's supposedly haunted. He even dwelled in the writings of Aleister Crowley. It's stuff like that, So they propagate their own myths, and back then the occult sells. So I don't know. Orion, same for me. The Ring spooked me years back. No more horror flicks. Good for you. David K. Totally off topic. I received some new pickups from Palm Springs, California to the UK under 48. Oh, that's great service. Yeah, 48 hours. Just remember to hide behind the chainsaws hanging from the ceiling. Oddball Samper. Been thinking of experimenting with the Chase Bliss audio pedals to find happy accidents, but they are so expensive and quite an amazing big learning curve for such small units. Interesting. Carlos, I don't care if others watch horror movies. I can, just me, no judgment of others. I understand. David, they're made by Curtis Novak. The second lot I had from him. I wouldn't go elsewhere now, right? Carpeters enjoy vampire movies though, like Only Lovers Left. Oh, I watched that. Yeah, and The Kiss of the Vampire. That's more sexual than anything. But Only Lovers Left was nice. Yeah. Play to Hertz. I watched the Pope's Exorcist with Russell. It was good. I didn't like it. It was horrible. Yeah, it was so campy in many ways. The other one is good was by Anthony Hopkins. I forgot the title, where he played an exorcist too. In Rome, one of my favorite places. And he was really good at that. And that movie had a really good message, behind it, which I think was was very commendable of the director and of the play of the script writer, because it was something about, um, if you believe in the devil, because the devil tried so hard to make people believe that he's real, then if you believe in the devil, then you also must believe in God. Makes sense, right? So anyway, Dandy Man, not for me. I would have a good Jackie Chan movie anytime. I have a horror movie that I'm in, but I'm the only one that gets to see it when I realize it will be with me forever. Then I learn how to deal with it. Ah, one of the best therapy for depression that helps me is to help others. When I help others, my attention is off of me, and that is in me. Good. Good to hear that, Carlos. Could you publish your list of recommended films? Like films, not horror films, right? Just films. I used to love horror genres, but not so much these days. Although I kind of do like comedy mixed into horror. You know what I'm into? War movies, especially World War II. I love All Quiet on the Western Front. The new version, the German version. I love it. I really love the movie so much. The way it's shot, the cinematography, the new take of the movie, the storyline, and the realities of the war. And there was one movie that I watched. I think, oh, War Horse. I kept on crying throughout that movie. The brutality of war, the utter waste of human lives and young lives, at that. And I just kept on weeping, as I watched the movie. It was so touching. Um, I like movies that, not necessarily just war films, but I love war films, basically. I like spy movies too. I love Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. Have you watched that? That's so awesome. Yeah, that's a great show. Oh yeah, really nice. I'll get you the title for that. It's called The Right, Rite. Right? You like horror parodies. Right, Pale Deal Hurts, Play Deal Tilt Hurts. It's called The Right. Yeah, look out for it. Yeah, David Fahrenheit it's always been a classic. I like the miniseries too, the Banner Brothers, the Pacific, um, Gallipoli. Uh, what else do you have? Enemy at the Gates, um, Black Hawk Down. Uh, I think it's probably my childhood because I was raised on television. When we have this series that ran for a couple of seasons called Combat, featuring Vic Morrow. Yeah. So maybe from there, it's all mostly black and white. I grew up liking World War II movies, and later on we have Where Eagles Dare, Longest Day, Bridge Too Far. I grew up all on that. When I was young. So, and yeah, yeah, Platoon is great. I think I'm going with the M2. It suits me, well, better than the 3. And I have to get the Strymon Cloudburst. Wow. Hmm. David K. The Cloudburst sounds beautiful. It's really different from a lot of pedals out there. Expensive though. You know. I'm not gonna buy anything, for the time being. I'll tell you why later on, much later on, and I'll tell you why I won't be spending a whole lot of. I will spend a a decent amount on this camera with the lens and everything. That's one reason why, and there's another reason. But this is like the camera is a sort of a investment, for the channel and everything. So I don't see it as indulging in myself too much. But I think I have to stop spending any more on guitars or effects or stuff like that. Yeah. Yes, Carlos, we are from the same generation. Oh, there's another one I like, Starlight 13. Remember that one? Starlight 13? Hogan's Hero. Yeah, I love that. It's so funny. And I think I downloaded the whole complete seasons of Starlight of Hogan's Hero. I would love to put it on TV when I'm bored and just watch and just laugh. Ceramic, Carlos. Ceramic. I love ceramic pickups. They just sound different. Yes, Dennis. I know. If I do get to your part of town, which is was it Atlanta? I would love to have a beer with you, old timer. Yeah. Then demand more a Taoist. Where is the devil in my religion? Inside every person who chooses to be devilish, I believe, but every belief to everybody's his own. But what I'm saying, it's a music live stream. I don't understand. Dan, are you offended by what I just said? It is a music live stream, but it's not about a music just for music. I pray for people over here, so it's not just a music live stream. It's my live stream, right? Now, if you're uncomfortable with it, then yeah. I mean, it's fine. I'm not going to judge you, and I don't think neither should you judge whatever is going on and discuss here, because it's after a live stream. It's not a music live stream, or else I'll be playing music the whole time for 2 hours instead of yapping my mouth away for 2 hours. All right. So I hope you understand where this live stream is going at and what this channel is all about. The channel is about music, yes. Live stream, not so. I talk about cameras. I talk about life. I talk about movies. I talk about religion. Not necessarily your religion is wrong and my religion is right. I don't do that. Yeah, so I hope you understand where I'm going with this. All right, on that note, I would have to say goodbye. I've been here for 2 hours. I hope you guys have a good week ahead. And I will end this stream with a prayer. Yeah, how many people are you here? Oh, there's 14 of you guys here. All right, so I'm going to say a prayer. Oh, it's okay, then. No offense taken. You're just having fun with the devil. All right. Okay, so have a good week ahead, and what? I'm watching old Chinese film or feel cinema purchases, start to practice. Purchase piece has to go. I still had the idea of a pickup made from old hand crank telephone magnet. I can picture anything. I remember watching an old Chinese film, Impossible Mission Possible. Take care, everyone. The devil can eat my underwear. Okay, enough devil talk. I'll just say a short prayer, right? So I thank you, Jesus, for tonight. I thank you for my brothers who are with me as we go through and just talk about stuff. And I thank you, Lord, for watching over us and our families. I just pray a blessing of peace and protection over each and every one of them. Their families involved too, included. Their families included. I pray that, Lord, that you would put peace in their hearts, and that you put joy into their lives too, Lord. If they are suffering for any ailments, Lord, I just pray that you will heal them, whether it's pain, arthritis, ache, the Lord, that you will heal them completely, Lord. I thank you, Jesus, for giving me this opportunity to be here among them as brothers. as a brother to you and as a friend. And I just pray the Lord that they will come and they also know, and so as some of them already do, that you have always been there for them, Lord. So thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. What? The videos and photos underneath. Hopefully, hopefully I get the. I'm still adjusting the lens because it's 1.4, and because it's 23 mm. I'm trying to see how it works indoor as well as outdoors. I might have to get a ND filter, right? An ND filter for the lens when I go out in the daytime, because I will not be able to shoot 1.4 without blowing everything up. So the ND filter will help. You just need to find the size for it. Take care, guys. God bless.